Hello everyone, welcome back to iFit News channel guys, and thank you for your support and keep supporting us. And as you all know, Rafale fighter jets are in the country now. So far we have received 5 Rafale fighter jets and more to come. I have a lot of surprising news for you, and so what is next is a question everyone should be asking. Rafale is here. So what is next? Are we going to have a long-standing war, long-awaited war with China, with only 5 Rafales? Let's see. So while the Indian Air Force (IAF) plans against the threat of the Chinese Air Force remains classified, the basic strategy against People's Liberation Army was put to test very successfully during 2018 Gagan Shakti Pan-India Air Exercise. The strategy is simple: disperse, absorb, recoup, and retaliate. This was the motive behind the 2018 Gagan Shakti exercise, which took place across India by the Indian Air Force. Air warriors like Air Marshal retired Birinder Singh Dhona know that China will launch a barrage of early long-range missile strike against Indian airbase to incapacitate uh, our offensive capabilities of the air power. However, according to the to a March 2020 Buffalo Center study of the of Howard Kennedy School, this is easier said than done. The study quotes a senior IAF officer saying that the Chinese needs at least 220 ballistic missiles to keep uh, one airfield shut for the next 24 hours. So this is the capacity needed by the Chinese, which is around 220 barrage of missiles fired at just one airfield to make it shut for the next 24 hours. This will not make any difference to Indian Air Force operation in the east or west, since uh, force, the Indian Air Force, has a large number of other airfields to operate from, let's say from Leh to Pasighat, to operate from. If the PLA Air Force attacks just 3 airbases, it will require 660 ballistic missiles per day for attacking the runway and the taxi track alone. So this is the level of attack Chinese have to do in first place. And as usual, keep this take this with a pinch of salt, guys. These are some calculations made by defense experts all around the world. So they believe that China's stock of around 1000 to 1200 medium range ballistic missile or a short range ballistic missile will be over in 3 days of war with India, with no other major target system like command and communication center or air defense units being addressed. This will give this will make uh, a platform for the Indian Air Force to strike back at the same time at the Chinese military bases along the line of control and in the depth areas as well. While recognizing the rocket threats from China, the Indian Air Force strategy has been fine-tuned to an art form and put to practice through more than 6,000 sorties uh, alone on the Eastern Front during exercise Gagan Shakti. The moment the red flag is up, we will disperse the aircraft from the designated fields to all along the borders uh, with China with sufficient munitions in those bases to take care of air operation, said a serving Indian Air Force officer commander. So, the next step in the Indian counter strategy is to absorb the attack at the airbase and quickly repair the runway and the taxiway. It is understood that the Indian Air Force has the capacity to repair the runway and get the airbase operational within 4 to 6 hours. As per the Indian Air Force officer himself, he has said, uh, we don't have either the US Patriot anti-missile system or the Israeli Iron Dome system, but have a proven capacity tested under Gagan Shakti to repair the runway within 6 hours maximum. This is what the statement of the Indian Air Force. So Indian Air Force believe that even though we don't have the top-notch air defense system like US Patriot and the Israeli Iron Dome systems, Indian Air Force can easily repair the runway and make it operational within 6 hours of time, which is the maximum time required, maximum time required to make this operational, the runway repair and operational. So this is the statements from our Indian Air Force officer himself. This is the capacity of India, just to give a glance of what India can do. So the former Indian Air Force chief, Dona, explains it by saying that even if Chabua, Tezpur, Leh, Adampur airbase are down, the dispersed aircraft will start the operation from the other bases like Bareilly, Dimapur, Kanpur, and Gurkapur, and at dozens of other airfields within the country in the northern sector and the central areas. So the next step are to recoup and then retaliate. This is what Indian Air Force will do with the actual scenario with China. So during this Pan India exercise, 2018 Gagan Shakti exercise, the then Defense Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and the then Air Chief Dona landed at Pasighat Advanced Landing Ground with a Sukhoi 30 taking off from the new airstrip. While the Chinese rocket attack will damage the Indian air bases, the inherent problem of rocket attack is that it is the one-time attack, and there is a limitation on the warhead load as well. Just as the Chinese have the missile range to reach any corner of India, the reverse is actually is equally true with the Agni 5 missiles ready and operational within India. To add to this, the Indian manned aircraft like Rafales and Sukhoi 30 MKI can carry over 30 ton of ordnance to be delivered with pinpointed accuracy. Compare this to the 100 kg warhead of the missiles or a rocket, which could be very much lethal than what Indian Air Force can deliver at these Chinese troops and their Air Force stations. Even though the Chinese military propaganda is on full swing, this so-called use of powerful ammunitions, the fact is that Indian Air Force has the both capacity and the capability to bring the fight to the Han Chinese way beyond occupied Tibet and Xinjiang. So this is it, guys. This is what I am trying to say, that Indian Air Force is fully prepared and fully experienced, and they have well strategy to deal with the Chinese arrogance, if I could say that. And Rafael, you'll give this the plan a more uplift with what it can achieve with their electronic war suit, and as well the ordnance it can carry. The overall punch of Indian Air Force will be deliver a deadly blow to the Chinese. Thank you for tuning into IF News channel, and kindly subscribe my channel, and I will come back with another great news. Jai Hind.